All right, so we're all set. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, we're okay. Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry I'm so far away. I'm just trying to stay in the camera view. So when we do our presentations today, I'm going to ask students to come up and stand about where I'm standing, and you'll need the mic so we can record. We are recording today's presentations. We have people that are joining us from all around the world. Want to say hi to my friend Toshi Ogura Sensei. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, and there may be other students as well. But I'm so excited that you're all here. My name is Gilbert Martinez. I am the academic program director for SJMC Japan. So excited to see not only the students who participated this year, but also family and parents and siblings. And also, there's one alum that's with us as well who was in last, let's see, Ollie, remind me, was it last year or was it was last year? Was it just last year? Oh my gosh, it's been a year, it's been a year. So, and we're expecting others that may be joining as well. I also want to extend a warm welcome to Mano Bowen, who is the director of Education Abroad. I'm very excited she's joined us today. She's very interested to see what we've done. And my gosh, we've done a lot. And I'm very, very excited and very proud to have you all here. Also the staff member in Education Abroad, Vanessa. Vanessa, remind me of your last name. Gonzalez, thank you very much. Gonzalez works with faculty-led programs, so we're very excited that she's here as well. They are very busy, so they may not be able to stay for the entire time. There are 18 of you, after all, that'll be talking about your work, but they will be sticking around here at the beginning, and I'm very, very grateful for them being here. So before we get started, let me just start with a quick announcement about a waiver form that is on the table here. So for current students in this year's, this is simply a, oh, give me just a second as I multitask here. I'll invite all. Okay. This is simply a form that gives us permission to share your work. We're already sharing your work, but this is just a formality. But I'm really excited to announce that Bob Jackson's media design class in the fall is going to take all of our work on the website and create a digital magazine. I'm so excited because all the great work that you've all created will then be put in a digital magazine. So it's just another form for us to showcase our work and showcase all the great work that you've done. So I just want to welcome you here again. I'm so excited to have you here. So with that in mind, let me just say a little bit about the program itself. My students have learned last year in 2019 and also this year, we've done it 3 times. This is an intense 12-day program. Shout out actually to John Zemickley also. John Zemickley and I did this program in 2019 and in 2023. And so it's so intense. He said, Gilbert, I need a break. This is too much. And I said, come on, let's go back to Japan. And that's what gave the opportunity for Sarah to join. So it's been a great opportunity to do this. I'll go every month if I could. So I'm excited. This program is all about touring Tokyo and Kyoto. It's designed for students to develop and showcase their writing, social media, and digital media skills. Students create feature stories, they write daily blog posts, they write personal travel essays, and then they create social media content on Instagram about their professional and cultural experiences in Japan. I overheard one of the parents who joined us today, they want to know what did their money pay for? And oh my gosh, it's not just a vacation to Japan. I told my students from the beginning, they didn't like to hear it, they didn't want to hear it, they didn't like when I reminded them. But I think when they look back on what we've done, I think they'll see that they've added to their portfolio, they've improved their writing skills, their social media skills, and their digital media skills. And that's what I'm most proud of when it comes to our program. And so you probably have followed us. I want to thank those of you who've seen our website. SJMC Japan has all of our work. And then also on Instagram, SJMC Japan is the handle. And I know you've been engaging because my goodness, our numbers are through the roof. It's really quite incredible. And the reason why is because of what these students have created. And that's what today's about. Today's the last class day of the first summer session. I can't even believe this day is here. I've been planning this trip for a year, and now to say, what, it's over after today? It really is kind of a sad day in a lot of ways, because I'm gonna miss my students. I'm gonna miss counting off. I'm gonna miss that long pause when someone forgets their number, but I am truly gonna miss you. But today's very special, and so I don't mean to be a downer. I really wanna talk about like what this is all about. Who we are. Let me invite Sarah Shields to come on up with me. The two classes that we teach in this program are feature writing and mobile storytelling. This is really about the marriage between the journalism program, but also digital media innovation. And it's about student skills. It's about giving them opportunities to develop their skills. So you can kind of look at me, I'm the old man. This is kind of like old school. And then Sarah is kind of like new school. I learned from Sarah. I learned things that I don't know. I just kind of am bumping along. I've got the old school stuff down, but the new school stuff, I was really grateful to have Sarah on board. And then the graduate assistants were such a tremendous support for us. Valley Figueroa standing over in the back, and then also Lizette Calderon. They're twins, and my goodness, I would take 4 of them if I could. But they were so great in supporting the work that we did. And then here are all the students in our program. This is the largest program we've ever had. Yes, they were a handful. Yes, they were a lot. But that made the experience that much better. It was just so much fun to experience all of this together. So these are just some of the photos. These are the group photos of places that we've been. You may recognize some of these locations. Some of these are different. You're going to hear more about some of these things today. Visiting Meiji Jingu Shrine, which is a very special place in Tokyo. Going to Tokyo Tower, which you can see in the background in the upper right corner. We also visited with Rikyo University students, a very prestigious university in Tokyo, and that was a tremendous intercultural exchange that our students had. We also got to visit with a new startup news and culture site called Unseen Japan. But we also spent time in Kyoto, and my goodness, where to start with all the special things that we did in Kyoto as well. It was really special. And if it looks like we're just on vacation, you're going to quickly see that it was much more than that. This was not just a vacation. So with that in mind, I want to hand it over to Sarah to talk about her class in mobile storytelling. And Albert asked me to be very delicate in handing off the mic. So just be very careful as I hand this off.
Just drop this real quick. So I'm not going to hook it up just because that's going to take a while to do. So as he was saying, literally it's not a vacation. And I think like all the students are aware of that now. As you can see, just for my class alone, 200 assignments were submitted. 162 of those were submitted in Japan. So we were creating content on the go every single day, like having late nights, getting the content in, editing videos, taking photos, writing captions, telling those stories. So with my class, the students, every single day, we'd have one student who would be assigned a day of what we're doing. They would post on our Instagram stories, and they'd post about 14 different slides. We also had daily reels that were coming in every day. So kind of just like a recap of all the things that we were doing on the itinerary. Sometimes we'd have 2 students doing that a day. So we'd always have 2 videos, 1 to 2 videos just for daily reels. And then we had the daily carousel posts. And so this was kind of the bulk of our content. So every single day we had 8 posts being published. And the way that I wanted to kind of achieve this was separating into like group A and group B, which Valley and Lizette really helped out on. They had their own little groups that they were working with. And so students were posting content in carousel form. I'll just stop working. With all the photos. So a lot of mix of photography, videography, micro stories. So writing those stories in caption form versus where Gilbert will talk a little bit about his class. Those stories are a little bit more long form content. Students also created other videos in the class. They had a Tokyo reel, so they got to choose something during our time in Tokyo that they were interested in, and they got to create a video of that. Same thing with Kyoto. When they got back, they got to put all their favorite clips together and do a recap reel. And then they created a promotion post where we kind of merged both of our classes together, where they would promote their stories for his class on Instagram. So kind of pushing our social media audience to our website platform. And real quick, I know the students are tired of me talking about this. So like very frequently I would send screenshots of our metrics and just be like, holy crap, y'all, like now y'all are pushing 75,000%. Oh my gosh, now we broke like six figures. It just kept going up. And I was like, eventually it's gonna fall, right? But like even coming back, and this was a couple days ago, so I'm sure it's higher now. But accounts engaged, like over 122,000%, like that's insane. And we are a small account, like we only have like 200 something followers. So, you know, we don't have a ton of followers, but this just like speaks for itself for the quality content that we were creating or that our students were creating. So if you didn't get to see any of the content on Instagram, I highly recommend y'all go follow, go check it out. The work that was being submitted was like more than I was even expecting. It was insane how good quality everything was, from the photos to the videos to the editing to the storytelling. Like I was very, very impressed. And obviously like the numbers speak for themselves. Like anybody who's worked in social media would look at this and be like, wow, like I would dream of that for our metrics for our account. So I'm very, very proud of the work that they put in. So thank y'all. And then I'm going to hand it off to Gilbert so he can talk about his class.
Thank you, Sarah. So I would ask Sarah from time to time about those numbers. Is this good? You know, the percentages were just incredible. Give me a second. I'm gonna leave that off here for a second. But yeah, it's just incredible. And when you look at these numbers and you look at what we've done, you know, we ask a lot of our students. There's no question we ask a lot. And I'll be honest to my current students, when I saw what Sarah had in mind, I thought to myself, oh my God, Sarah, that's a lot. But Sarah, you do you, you do you, right? But what I want to emphasize here is that yes, we ask a lot of our students. We also ask a lot of ourselves. You know, we were grading these assignments. We were up early, we were up late, we were available for students 24/7. It's a different kind of teaching. It's not like our usual way of teaching, just in the classroom and then students come and they go. This was really about an immersive experience. And so for my side of the program is all about feature writing. So 124 assignments submitted, 106 reviewed in Japan. There should be a caveat there. Some of those were reviewed over the Pacific Ocean as I was returning home. I got the Wi-Fi because I needed the time. And I'll just share this very quickly. My students might get a kick out of this. While I was grading, my wife, Rayanne, was sitting next to me. She watched the whole movie, and I'm still grading. She watched the second movie, and I'm still grading. She watched a documentary, and I'm still grading. But that was the best time for me to get it done because I could concentrate and focus. But anyway, these are the things my students did for me, for the program, for themselves. They wrote their introductions. Each of them had a daily blog post for somewhere during our program. They each wrote 2 Tokyo feature stories, 2 Kyoto feature stories, and then they also, just this week, shared their reflections on what this program meant for them in personal travel essays. So this is what we've done. This is what we've created, and I really love how it is that combination with the old school and new school. It's kind of the old style of writing, kind of travel journalism, feature writing, but then also using the new tools to promote, to share, to do all of those things with social media. These are marketable skills. These are important skills. And for me, being an old school guy, it all starts with solid writing skills. If you have that down, then there's any number of ways that you can go. But when you tack on the social media skills, the digital media skills, I mean, quite literally, you're a superstar. And this is going to make a difference in your lives and in your careers. And I know for the alumni that are here, I want to welcome the others that have just joined from last year's program. They know what this means. They know how they can use this and how they've improved. So that's what this is all about. Now, I want to just show you the website real quick. If you haven't seen it, this is the current look of the page right now. This is just a screen grab, but you'll see that the last daily blog post is the one SJMC Japan offers its best work at Friday presentations. That's today. That's what we're doing today. And then you see that there are other things trending now, feature stories, and there's a scroll at the top. When the page is live, you'll see the things scroll, and you'll get to hear all about the things that we did. And that's what today, again, is a little bit about, where each of our students are going to talk about what they worked on, their best work. We're going to share their reels and some of their recaps and so forth. And so that's what we're doing here today. So I want to thank you again for joining us. What we're going to now do is transition into hearing from each of our students. And before we do that, I want to share with you one of the assignments that we had for our graduate students. They worked on this together. They put together a promo video based on all of the work that our students did this month. So this is what we're going to use when we try to recruit for next year, when we visit classes, when we're going to put this on our website, all of these things. And so I want the current students to watch out for themselves when they pop up here. And then parents and family, you can watch for I just messed that up. Give me a second here. I got to get back to it. So sorry. Okay, so here we go.
Hi, I'm Abigail. I'm a Texas State University student, and I have brought some of my favorite candies for the Rico University students to try. I hope they like them. I know gift giving is a really big part of the culture here, and I'm just really excited to share the candies I love. So.
Educational for everyone who attended, and that you'll bring that back, and some of you go on to careers in journalism.
It was a really amazing experience going up to the Wall Street Journal in Japan, just so amazing. And Peter, who we talked to, he gave us a lot of really good information about the Wall Street Journal.
So shout out to Valley and Lizette for the tremendous work they did in putting that together. This is something that we're really proud of, that we're going to be able to recruit students and show what this program is all about. And I hope you noticed that it wasn't just about being on vacation or sightseeing or relaxing at the beach. You saw students doing things. You saw students taking photos, taking notes, paying attention. And there are also some late nights. Here's a fun fact you may not know, but at hotels in Japan, in the lobby area, they often dim the lights at 1 a.m. And the reason I know that is because we were up that sometimes, and we wondered when we moved to a new hotel, what are they going to do? And the first night we were in Kyoto, Valley, do you remember? We were in the breakfast area where there was like meeting space so we could work. And this was very un-Japanese-like, but one of the attendants, one of the staff members from the hotel, very sharply came and told us at 1 a.m, "You cannot be here. This place is closed. You must leave." Okay, so we had to move off to the side, but we finished up our work. But that's how, kind of wish I didn't know this about hotels. But it just shows you the dedication and the work that students put in to get it right, to do quality work, and that's what been emphasized all along. Okay, Sarah, are you going to help me with that thing? Okay, all right. So we're about to transition to student work now, and we're going to start with Laura. Yeah, there we go. And then so, is there a way we can get Laura in the box?
So if she turns her video on, she should pop up. So,
I have the video on.
Okay,
you have your video
she
on?
does have the video on, so. Yeah. Okay, pardon me just a second, folks. We're just getting this ready. Oh, and then, yeah, would it be the under video? There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, there's Laura. By the way, Laura is still in Japan. Her husband joined her right toward the end of our program. And so we've asked her to join us. It's 12:30 in the morning there. So I'm very, very grateful that Laura has joined us so she could share her work. And so what we're going to do, Laura, is we're going to play these things and then give you a chance to talk about them as well. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone.
Hi guys, we are at Yamato Sample Factory here in Tokyo, and we are gonna make some Japanese fake food. Let's go.
Hey, Laura, can you hear me? Oh, yes. Okay, that's me. So if you want to just like talk a little bit about your work, we're also going to show your next video too. So if you want to just briefly go over this one real quick.
Oh, okay. So in this one, I am really into food, so I really want to do my own fake food that is really popular here in Japan. I found this factory outside Tokyo, and I was the first Colombian there, so it was really honored to meet these people that is been for generation in their family, and I had such a good time. I learned a lot about the culture. Also, Kimberly went with me, and we enjoyed the time there. So highly recommended if you ever came to Tokyo. It's an amazing time to make your own souvenir.
Awesome. All right, and then your Kyoto reel, 10 things to do in Kyoto. I'm going to play that real quick.
So in this reel, I wanted to show like all different activities that you can do in Kyoto. There is even more. Kyoto is a city full of tradition, but also they have a lot of activities like to do outside, like in the river, you can rent a bike. And also they have the Gion district to learn about the geisha's history. They have a new theater that they play these tradition shows that I highly recommend too. So I wanted to showcase like a list of the most important things to do in Kyoto.
Writing story.
So should I just talk about the story that I wrote?
Yeah, so you'll just kind of
Okay.
get a quick overview of this one.
Okay, so for my feature story from Kyoto, I went to Asento for first time. Asento is a public bathroom that is separate for women and men. So women, they have their own bathroom where it's like these pools that you can enjoy. This one in specific in Kyoto, they have two electric bathrooms. That was really interesting. They have also a cool bathroom and also a hot one and a sauna. So for me, this experience was really, really unique because I am from Colombia. My country is really traditional. We we don't see that kind of environments at all, like being that comfortable with being in a place where more women are naked. And so it was really interesting. It was a risk at the beginning. I didn't know what to do, but they provide a lot of instructions for foreigners. So it was really easy to understand how it works. And I really enjoyed it a lot. Like it changed my perspective of my body because like it was a really relaxing time and no one cares about how you look. So I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that everyone was feeling comfortable with themselves and just enjoying the time and having a relaxation after work or just a long day. So if you ever come to Japan, I highly recommend it to try it. I know it's kind of scary at the beginning because it can be really different from our culture, but it's amazing. Like this experience was one of the highlights that I have here in Japan, and I wish that in the United States or in my country they start doing these kind of places for people to enjoy and relax and be more open-minded about our body and in the society. So
And then if you want to just give us a quick overview of what this trip meant to you.
okay, well, this trip means everything to me. I remember a year ago, I went to talk with Professor Martinez about it. As I said, I came from Colombia for a middle class family. I never had these kind of opportunities in my life. So being able to work hard and just make it happen, it means everything to me. I worked hard for a year and I made it possible. So I'm really proud of myself for doing this. Um, and also I went out of my comfort zone because for me, it was the first time publishing a reel on my Instagram account and talking to the camera like that. So it was kind of scary, but when I did it, I just like enjoying so much that I want to create more content about my own travels because it's one of my hobbies. So it really means everything to me. Like I grow a lot during this trip and I cannot wait on to see the work that I'm gonna do in the future with all the skills I learned.
All right, thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much.
Haley.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee Crook. I'm getting over a little bit of a sickness, so ignore my voice. For my first feature writing story, I did the Toshiki Outer Market. It became one of our favorites as a class, and so it was really easy to write about. So the Toshiki Outer Market was created in 1657, and it served as a local fish market for the surrounding community. Today it has about 450 shops, and it provides locals and tourists with deep traditions, delicious food, and a sense of community. In recent years, it gained a lot of international attention, and it became a really massive tourist attraction. And so that made the city officials kind of rethink about their tourist pool, and they actually made a new fish market called the Toyozu Fish Market in 2018. And this is just as like a way for locals to be more safe and more efficient with their fish market. But the Toshiki Outer Market still is filled with so many shops and so many things that you can enjoy. And some of my favorites were the fresh fruit ice cream, which you can see on the screen. It was so delicious. They had various grilled meats, and actually one of our students, Elise, tried grilled octopus on a stick, which was really interesting. They have tons of different desserts. My favorite was the strawberry mochi. It's so viral on anything. And of course, it had the freshest sushi that you'll ever have. The Toshiki Outer Market is an important representation of Tokyo's history and food culture. I'm so glad that we got to experience it as a class.
Track 1. Please wait behind the yellow warning blocks. ステゴマンションシリーズの東京日照エステ。仕方がないと思って。
Yeah, so that was my Tokyo reel, and I did the sounds of Tokyo and focused more on natural sound to carry my point across. I had seen this type of reel on my feed before going to Tokyo, and I thought that it was so cool, and I just really wanted to relate to it. And now that I do, my reel kind of serves as like a nostalgic reel for me, since I now know those sounds and I miss them. So it's my favorite reel that I made. Yeah, so this was my Kyoto reel, and we visited the Fushimi Inari. It was actually our last day and our last activity, and this reel was kind of more of a point of view reel, and it showed kind of the viewer what it would look like if they were there also. So. My SJMC experience is one that is hard to put into words because it was so good, but it was one that I will not ever forget. From wandering the streets of Tokyo to sweating to death in Kyoto and bravely taking on the adventure in Osaka with only 4 other students. It was definitely one that was so rewarding and exciting and the most amazing trip that I've been on in my life. And it definitely allowed me to grow as a person and a professional. I now know that I really want writing and traveling in my future career. And I'll just never stop bragging about this trip. So thank you.
Next up, we have Kimberly.
Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly Garza, and for my future writing, I visited a theme cafe called Pom Pom Purin Cafe that is in Harajuku. And Harajuku is like a fashion district and very much like pop culture. And this cafe was very magical experience for me because I don't know if you guys know Pom Pom Purin, but he's a Sanrio character like with Hello Kitty and all that. And it was very much like a celebration of like kawaii and just like the foods that they give you was very like presentations and it was just cuteness overload for me and I just loved it. Yeah. Okay. And then I also did my Tokyo reel about it and this is gonna show you like the inside of it and like the food that they presented to me and everything. And I would also want to include that the pricing of everything included was like $40. I spent the entire cafe, so I was like, a steal. Like, and then this is my recap reel, and we can. So these were some of the like my favorite clips that I took, and to talk about this whole trip, like it was very much a learning. Like it came with a lot of learning opportunities and like adventures included. And I would like to include it was a work trip, like yes, vacation, but we did work, and it was not just like personal growth, like for me, but like I learned it to adapt in a new city and like taking the metro over there and just like learning a new language, be able to like communicate with them was like just I gained a new perspective this entire trip. And I'm really glad I went on this trip and I love it. Yes. And then also my well continue about my experience. Um I like I like just new perspectives on the world, like going and coming and just like I kind of like I was nervous to go, you know what I mean? But like I was excited and I'm just really glad that this happened. I'm really like I also learned a lot of like um career skills that I can totally use in the future. And I'm just really glad that Martinez made this for us and I'm like glad we were able to go. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so for my feature story, I chose, or the Kyoto one was chosen for me. It was the tea ceremony. And I chose this because it was an authentic Japanese tradition and something that I've never done before. And I've just been on a journey to becoming a more mindful person. And so I feel like this really resonated with me and I really appreciated the underlying message. This also just contributes to stress reduction and it's a way to connect without talking because sometimes we don't always want to have conversation, but we want to connect with other people. So this was a great way to do that. Just a quick overview of the history. The ceremony originated in the 9th century and it was initially used for medicinal purposes and to prevent monks from getting drowsy during meditation. Then later it became a social activity and an art form, and it really focused on the meticulous preparation, serving, and consumption methods. And for many, it's a cherished hobby, and it takes years and years of school to become a tea master, and you have to go to school for it, which I thought was really interesting that people dedicate that much time just to learn how to serve tea. And it's totally different than just like your everyday experience of drinking tea. You can get tea ceremonies create a sense of discipline, accomplishment, and cultural connection, which really resonated with me. And everything is done with purpose and ritual. Like even every movement that our host would do with her little napkin and just every movement was super sharp and very precise. And tea ceremonies remain popular today as a way to escape the fast pace of modern life and to find peace in the present moment. When you walked in, it was very serious and very quiet, something I wasn't expecting. And our host introduced all the rules and everything and how the process worked and how to appreciate the presence of others around us as well. We drank matcha, which is known for its peaceful energy, and it represents social relationships. And a lot of different utensils were used, bamboo whisks, and each matcha bowl represented a symbol of the season. And she started off by giving us a ginger candy, which we ate to cleanse our palates, and then after we would drink the tea. Okay, and this is my Kyoto reel. And originally I was going to make this a mukbang, if you guys know what that is, but it would have been way too long and it would have had to be in a YouTube video instead. And Valley and Lisette actually gave me the suggestion to make this into my reel. And I just wanted to share everything we got at the Japanese grocery store for under $30 for all of us.
Hi guys, Abigail here, and this is what I got from the Japanese grocery store in Kyoto for dinner. I got some bamboo sprout egg rolls, some pickled radish. I got this stuff yesterday, but it's sakura mochi, which is delicious. Some spicy pickled cucumber, some tuna sashimi, and then I'm not really sure what these are. I think there's like pickled vegetables in like a sushi roll. And then, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, so what I got was fried pork cutlet, and then rice on the side. I got like a little crab salad thing, and then I'm not sure what's in this. I think it's crab, tuna, egg thing, and then kimchi and some like sauce for my pork cutlet.
Hi guys, I'm Ivy. And I got some bean sprouts with pork and cabbage. I got some pineapple for dessert. I got this salmon onigiri, edamame, except there's no boiling water, so I can't make it. And then I got tuna, and then rice to go with the tuna.
And then this is just an overall recap of some cinematic moments.
Thank you. And I'm gonna try to make this quick, but there were so many highlights. Um, for the itinerary that we had with the program, I really enjoyed hearing from Jay Allen, which was the co-founder and chief editor at Unseen Japan. He shared his wisdom about being a journalist and working for a smaller news organization. So that really sparked a new interest in independent journalism for me. And then I really enjoyed the Rikyo University campus tour and getting to interview Japanese university students. And this kind of caught me by surprise because I didn't think this would be my favorite thing, but it actually was during the trip. And we also got to play Two Truths and a Lie, which was really fun. And then I loved Kamakura, the bonsai at Meiji Jingu, and the Shinjuku National Garden. And I was so impressed by how well kept everything was, considering so many people visit every year. And it was just so clean and so nice. And then aside from the program itinerary, I really loved the flea market that we went to on Sunday. I got so many unique gifts, vintage gifts like jewelry and ceramics and things like that. And then I loved going to karaoke, and I loved Kyoto's nightlife so much. It was really fun. And then I've obviously enjoyed the food markets. They had the best fish and the best desserts that I could even imagine. And then it was a really nice surprise because next to our hotel in Tokyo was the neighborhood of Asakusa, which was also a great place for nightlife, and they had the best street food there too. And then overall, I learned so much on this trip, and I chose this because it was probably the hardest destination to get to independently. And I figured, why not just go with people who are also like-minded and want the same aspirations and have the same love for travel as I do. And there was just such a sense of comfort, and I feel like I really connected with everyone here and had such a great experience. And I really loved fully immersing myself in a new culture and a new country. And also, I love to compare and contrast it to life here in the US and to incorporate new ways of living in my own routine after returning back home. This also made me really pay attention to the sights, sounds, and smells of everything around me. And I wasn't so in tune with my environment until after this trip. And also being surrounded by creative students really inspired me to grow and refine my own skills. Okay, there's so much to say, but time really flew by, and this impact just really made an everlasting impression. Thank you.
Hello. So for my Japan feature story, I did it on the oldest bakery in Japan, and I found out about that through researching historical like restaurants and sweet shops. For my feature stories, I was really interested in going to some place where I could taste or experience something because I wanted to give like a review and my opinions for like how you should get there, what you should, um, what route you should take, like what was the best thing to try. It was a really cool experience for me because, in addition to being the oldest bakery, they also invented a dessert called Anpan, which is now the staple for their bakery. They promote it so much they even have merch for it. Uh, it was really cool going there. They had a lot to pick from. Like they had savory options and sweets along all the walls and in the middle. Everything was really good, and it was for a great price. So recommend try it sometime. I got the Daily Post for Tokyo Tower, and it was really cool. We went all the way up to the top. Uh, they had when we got up to the top, I believe they had like these mirrors and these structures in reflective material, and it was really cool getting to see all of Japan from outside. It's a really fun place to like take pictures and tell people about. Um, when you go down a little bit, they have a whole floor dedicated to like touristy things where you can go play VR and shop and I don't know. They had these gift shops with like their own, also their own merch. They had really cool shot glasses that you could only buy there, and I don't know. They had a bunch of little trinkets. I think Kimberly got some. Uh, yeah, it was really cool. Second tallest building in Japan until there was another tower built. I'm not sure which one, but yeah, it was really cool. It was based off the Eiffel Tower. And then this was my Kyoto reel.
Yeah, so when people walk up to a Shinto shrine like Yasaka Shrine, they'll shake a long rope that rings a bell, and they're essentially getting the attention of the deities and the gods to pay attention because they have a wish they'd like to convey. So they it's also accompanied with clapping their hands. That's also a way of getting the attention of the deities. So then they can make their request of the gods, usually for family health, longevity, for success, things like that.
That interview was really good. So I thought originally it was for a daily reel, but I was like, well, this is good enough on its own. Probably should do something with that. It worked out for the Kyoto reel. I also thought that it was a really interesting process for how they pray there. It was one of the more like ones with more steps. And so I don't know, I thought it was really interesting. And the interview was very good. Thank you, Gilbert. And then my experience, Japan has been on my bucket list for a long time. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll go there in my 30s when I have money. But this seemed like a good way to do it because education and a trip, that was really cool. Plus, I feel like most of the money was spent on the flight. So once you're there, you can kind of like take a few extra days. But yeah, it was really cool getting to go there. I've never been to Asia before. I'm sure most of you haven't either. Uh, and it was a really big learning experience. Like I hadn't really taken that many classes in this major yet, so that was huge. And I also hadn't like traveled on my own before. I've always been with my family, and so I got to learn some life skills like navigating, um, learning how to like approach people and ask them for help if like I get lost because that happened a few times. Um, it was really cool getting to like try local cuisine and not knowing really what you're getting. Like the expectations were, you couldn't really have them because everything, uh, there was no like idea what you'd get. So it was a very trusting experience, and you learn to like open yourself up more and take a chance. So it was really cool, and I feel like I had a lot of growth. Thank you.
So, my name is Talia, and for my feature story, I wrote over the Kyoto Imperial Palace. It was very pretty, to say the least, very big. Going in, it looked like a garden, and then they explained to us that after the government took ownership over it, they turned it into a garden. Anybody can go. Going in, we saw, or I at least saw a lot of people riding their bikes out of the garden, and then going inside, it was really pretty. A lot of gravel pathways, a lot of trees, to say the least. Around a lot of like little creeks going, and then like hidden little houses, which create really good photo ops. Um, Once we went inside, and we started the entire tour, I knew it was big, but I thought during the tour it was gonna go by faster. It didn't, but it was really nice to see the architecture. I've only ever seen these buildings in like K-dramas, Japanese dramas, like just videos. But to actually be there was just so surreal. And I just can't believe I was walking where like previous emperors are walking, you know, like the royal family. So it was very good. And then for my Instagram daily post, I had to write about the Shinjuku Gyeon National Garden. Once again, the garden was very beautiful. This garden was, I believe it came to be or during the Edo period, or it dates back to the Edo period, which has samurai history. It was originally owned by a lord under the name Naito, I believe. And for several years, it was under his ownership. Now, I believe the Japanese government has ownership of it. Once again, it's not free. You do have to pay a small entrance fee, but it was really beautiful. They did include a lot of ponds, as you can see on there. That's one of them. All of us separated kind of in small little groups, and everybody took a different route. To say the least, the map that they gave us, to be honest, was very confusing. I only knew where we started. I did not know where I was going. And to be honest, I was only following Abigail. I was following Ivy. I was a follower the whole time. And it was just so fun. That reminds me, I have to add the pictures of you guys on the photo link or the photo circle. So I will do that today. But it was so beautiful. And then they also had like a little greenhouse, which we went inside at the very end in a short amount of time. We had to like speed through. We had like 5 minutes left until we had to meet up with everybody else. And the greenhouse reminded me a lot of the Seattle Amazon spheres, if y'all haven't gone. It's the exact same thing, a greenhouse, just in the shape of a sphere. And then for my recap reel, it just shows a lot of videos of what happened or what I experienced. All of my little core memories are in there. They'll forever be in the little spot in my head for the rest of my life. And here you go.
Why do we feel the need to take photos and videos of everything? Here's what I think. I think part of it has something to do with this fear of losing a memory. You know, we're afraid of a magical moment in our lives happening and us not having a permanent version of it in the form of a photo. Out of this sort of uncomfortable fear that if we don't get it in photo version, video version, that it'll be gone forever.
So, as I said, it's just a recap of several videos. It was very hard to put or to choose the videos in the recap reel because I had a lot of videos, and I just didn't know. It was hard to I guess put them all together in a way that I guess showcased everything. I was having a hard time at first because I kept putting a lot of videos that only really covered over one specific thing that we did, one activity. So it took a lot of time, a lot of editing. I've never had to edit before this trip, and I wanted to pull out my hair because oh my God, if it wasn't for CapCut, I don't know.
Why do we?
Oh my God. Okay, so my overall experience, as I said, this is my first time having to do any editing. So the mobile storytelling class was partially new just because I do have Instagram, I do post. So that part wasn't new. It was mostly the making the reels. It was very eye-opening. I never knew. I had friends in high school who did a media class. I would always see them taking videos. I would always see their experience. I would be in their videos, and I was just like, it's not that hard. I regret saying that because I was texting them during the whole trip, seeing if they could help me out, which they did. So thank you to them. As for the feature writing class, I've never had to take a journalism class either. I remember, I think first time that I had like an epiphany of how hard it was probably when I was writing my daily blog post, because I had written everything. I thought it was good. And then when I came to the review session with one of the graduate students, it just kind of blew me away just because there was so much editing. I never knew that you had to go line by line too. So that was very stressful. I don't know how y'all do it. I applaud you guys. That it was, oh my God. So I felt like it wasn't even my own work anymore just because of that major editing. So that was a lot. I really did enjoy it because I did learn something new. I can use that in the future, whether it's I don't know, I might pursue a career in that, but it was really eye-opening. I mean, my first time abroad as well. It was nice to do it with a lot of new people. I met everyone, so it was nice. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Maurer. I'm a mass comm major here at Texas State, going into my junior year. And my feature story that I covered in Tokyo was the vast variety of Tokyo's animal cafes. This was something I was extremely excited to write about. It was on my to-do list since before even going on the trip. So coming and experiencing it it exceeded my expectations for sure. So in my feature story, I went to a couple of different cafes in Akihabara, to a cat cafe, a dog cafe, and a rabbit cafe. And the experience was extremely therapeutic and relaxing. And it's something that I wish we had here in the US because I would spend all my free time there. Um, but Tokyo and Japan in general, is really known for having a lot of animal cafes like this. It's really abundant in them. So something that I actually went into in my feature story was the ethics of them. With there being so many, there are ones that are more ethical than others. And if you wanted to go and take a look at my feature story, I do link resources and give advice on how to decide whether or not you're visiting an ethical animal cafe or not. But this was one of my favorite experiences and activities while visiting Tokyo. So my Tokyo reel was over the puppy cafe that I went to. Me and Rosie went to that cafe together. And it was a really fun experience. It was all the dogs were so cute, and the staff was so helpful and friendly. And they were putting like the dogs in our laps and giving us toys to play with them, and we were giving them treats, and it was really fun. This one was in Kyoto over the Nishiki Market. So another top thing on my to-do list while in Japan was get street food. So in Kyoto, there was Nishiki Market, which is just a short walk from where we were staying. And it's just this long alleyway or this long street of just vendors left and right. And they have fresh food like fresh fish. They have desserts. They have fried food. They had octopus on a stick. They had grilled meat on a stick. It was another one of my favorite experiences in Japan, and we got to eat a lot of good food there. So this trip really was the trip of a lifetime for me, and there's no way I would have been able to done it. No way I would have been able to have done it if the opportunity hadn't popped up through SJMC Japan. And I'm really grateful for everything that it's given me, experience-wise, and it's really allowed me to go out and experience other cultures and learn a few things and apply them to my own life, even back now in the US. But not only personally did I grow, I also got to learn a lot academically. Um, just writing my feature stories. I'm more used to hard news, so getting into feature stories was something new for me. And it was honestly very insightful working with the grad students on it, on my feature stories, on my blog posts. I got to learn lots of new ways to write things that are different from what I'm used to. Um, but I'm really glad that I was able to go on this trip because not only did I learn, I also made lifelong memories and friends, and I will cherish every moment that I made on this trip. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cade. I am an electronic media major, and the first feature story that I did was over the pop culture in Kyoto. For myself, one of the biggest things I was planning to do in Japan was spend a lot of money. And in Tokyo, that's to be expected with all of how busy it is, how big it is. But the one thing I knew about Kyoto was that it was a little bit smaller and a little bit quieter. So I was surprised when I found out there was actually a lot of stuff there that I could spend my money on. And I found out that the reason being for this is I'm into a lot of like games and stuff, and companies like Nintendo was founded in Kyoto, and its headquarters are actually still there. So of course the Nintendo store there is very big and lots of stuff. It's super cool. Yeah. And this is the first reel I did in Tokyo, where I went to an animal cafe, specifically looking for otters, because my girlfriend's here today, and her favorite animals are otters, and she said, in her words, not mine, that she would kill me if I didn't see an otter in Japan. So.
All right, I'm gonna go to a little animal cafe, and you're gonna join me. Come on. Okay, so right now we're arriving at Harry's Animal Cafe in Asakusa, and immediately upon entering, you're greeted by this little guy, or I should say girl. She's an energetic little meerkat named Lala. Okay, next we had this tiny little prairie dog, and I wasn't able to actually get his name, but he wasn't much of a talker, so... Can I ask you a question, sir? Good answer. Finally, we have my favorite part, the otters. This feisty little girl right here is Matcha. She was for sure the star of the show and just wanted to meet and touch everyone. She was so cute. There were also a few other animals in the store, but maybe you should try to come meet them yourself. If you're ever in the area, you know where to go.
Thank you. It was such an awesome experience, and I wasn't expecting to really get to play with that many because upon walking in, all of the otters are behind like a plastic wall. But the staff was so nice, and they actually opened it up and like brought them all out, and it was so fun. Okay, and this was my Kyoto reel over just pretty much all of Kyoto, all the stuff I did. And besides the last reel, all of my reels I made were kind of focusing on being more cinematic, and I like the angle of making it look like it's like a film. And so that's kind of what I went with this.
Can I call you Rose? 'Cause you're sweet like a flower in bloom.
Thank you. My experience with the trip was awesome. A little background about me, I have been traveling my whole life. I lived in Asia for about 6 years. So to be honest, I wasn't really expecting it to be that much different. But I was wrong because I think for the most part, what was different was the connections and the bonds you make when you're traveling with people who are like you and think like you. And, I didn't know anyone before this trip. And so getting to form these like real natural connections with people was so cool. And also forming the connections I made like in Japan with people who are living there was awesome. And I really think these are connections that I'll have for like the rest of my life. Thank you.
Nope. I don't like that. Okay, poor. Hi, my name is Toby. My feature writing story that I chose was talking about Japanese street food culture in yeah, Japan. So when you think of Japan, like the first thing that comes to mind is like sushi. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to the sushi bar and eat raw fish and all that good old jazz. And I was like, cool. That was me too. I told my mom, I was like, oh, I can't wait to have authentic sushi. And so we went, and they were just like, oh, here's this new culture that you never experienced. So it was pretty cool. Just seeing the different aspects of Japanese street culture. I think one thing to note is that with like Japanese street food and like street culture, like you don't walk and eat. It's a big no-no. Which I was very confused because America, like, you take your little snack on the go and you just, yeah, I'm gonna eat and walk and talk. But here you don't. They have like little stalls where you can go sit and eat and like just be with the culture. So yeah. So one of my daily posts was about the Yasaka Shrine, which was really cool just to experience a new culture and a new religion. I think for me, it was very eye-opening as like, I grew up in a Christian household, so I only knew like one religion. And so like seeing like the different practices of, cleansing your mouth and washing your hands before entering or shaking bells to, wake up the deities was really cool and just see people like, just practice their faith openly and unapologetically. So that was pretty cool. And then here's my Tokyo reel where I went to Akihabara. So fun fact about this reel, I was trying to be in my travel vlogger era. And while being in that era, I got lost. And so that was pretty cool. By the end of the video, me and my little smile wave, I was not happy. I was like, literally, I called my mom. I was like, Mama, I don't know where I am. I'm in this country by myself. I'm scared. I don't know Japanese. They don't know English. How am I going to get home? But shout out to Talia. She was my videographer / lost travel partner. I wouldn't want to get lost with anybody but you. So shout out to you. You literally kept my head on straight because I was losing it by the end of it. Okay, my experience. Ooh. So I think it was a pretty cool experience, especially the content creation. Shout out to all my mass media majors because y'all. Shout out to y'all because learning how to edit and taking pictures and videos, I was like, this is not for me. I'm an international relations major. I'm just here to get my study abroad point. But in the midst of it, it was really cool just seeing a new culture, especially being an international relations major, and learning to see how like you can interact with the culture without knowing much and just throwing myself into the experience. So yeah.
Okay. Oh. Hi, my name is Carlota. I'm a public relations major and a Spanish minor. So I wrote my feature story, a culinary grand slam ballpark food at Tokyo Dome. I will admit I'm not a big sports person. But I am from Houston and I am Venezuelan, so I do have an appreciation for baseball culture, that sort of a thing. So I also like to eat food, good food. This story I kind of just talked about mainly like something really unique, like kind of just how the food is there, like what concessions are like at like a Japanese ballpark. Um, basically, all of the menus there, it's literally like a culinary homage to the Giants. All the foods, there's like bento boxes, there's burgers, there's drinks. They're all like the team's favorites, and all of the foods have a picture of the players. And when you order your food or your drink, you get a sticker with the players. So it was just kind of about like the fanfare, the food, and just kind of how they do concessions in Japan versus the States. Okay, and then this is my Tokyo reel.
The next station is Shibuya.
So for Tokyo, I will admit the thing I was most excited to go do and go see was Shibuya. I just had seen it all over my TikTok and I was like, I want to go to Shibuya. So there was just a little bit about like kind of like just what it looks like, Shibuya crossing, that sort of a thing. Yeah. And then my recap reel. Oh, sorry.
Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
So basically my recap reel, I just kind of wanted to include like some of my favorite moments throughout the trip, kind of showing like the urban landscape, but also like the traditional architecture, that sort of thing, and highlight kind of like the technology and like transportation, and yeah. Okay, my SJMC Japan experience. For me, I feel very grateful to have gotten to experience this. My aunt, she actually lived in Asia for a part of her life. And I remember like growing up, she'd always tell me like, oh, it's a different world in like Japan, like just Asia in general. So it was really cool just to kind of get to experience this and just see a different way of life. And like this trip really helped me gain like new perspectives on the world and definitely being more intentional and more purposeful with how I move in my everyday life. That's something I really like learned and really appreciated from the Japanese culture. And then also like academically, I was really nervous for Professor Shields' class, not gonna lie, but I learned a lot. And I think it was just kind of sometimes those little like uncomfortable moments where you kind of like learn the most. So yeah, thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Abigail Tuttle, and I wrote my feature story about harmony and hospitality, exploring Japan's culture of respect. And when I first got to Tokyo, I just saw how the locals treated each other and treated other tourists, like foreign tourists, and it was just amazing to watch the patience, trust, the general kindness that they all showed to each other. It was just amazing to be a part of and to experience. And one of the things I was most looking forward to was those interactions with locals. And I saw this and I talked about like waiting in lines or on the subways when people would give up their seats for the elderly or maybe for women with children. I did that a couple of times and they're just so grateful for those actions. Yeah, that was really cool. It was just super interesting and I loved talking about it. And this photo is from a flea market where I had a lot of interactions with little stall members and they were all just super sweet. And when I told them I was from Texas, be like little cowboy and they just got so excited. And then this is my Tokyo reel. I'll play it now.
Hi, I'm Ivy, and I think I'm gonna eat 25 pieces of sushi today.
Hi, I'm Kaylee, and I think I'm gonna eat 15 pieces of sushi.
Hi, I'm Kimberly, and I think I'm gonna eat 31 pieces of sushi.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I think I'm gonna eat 15 pieces of sushi. Hi, I'm Abigail, and I think I'm gonna eat 20 pieces of sushi. Cheers! So I only ate 20, but I was 5 away from my goal.
I ate 10.
Alright, I ate 13 pieces of sushi.
I lied. I ate 15. I'm a loser. I ate 10.
This was a super fun reel to make. And I actually wasn't planning on doing my Tokyo reel over this. I was gonna do it on karaoke, but we just went to revolving sushi and I just thought it was gonna be so fun. And I love those videos where it's like, oh, how many pieces can you eat? Or how much can I eat? And the group I was with, it was just really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. And then this is my recap reel, and I focused on small moments that I really took time to appreciate and captured them on video. And my favorite is the last clip. Thank you. That last clip is like from a Studio Ghibli movie. I love it. Okay, my experience, it was incredible. I've been surrounded my whole life by my parents. My mom's over there, she's super cute. And other relatives that have just told me the most important thing you can do for yourself personally and for your education is to go and experience the world, go to different cultures, immerse yourself, talk to people. And that's exactly what I did. I talked to everyone on the trip. I talked to so many locals. It was just amazing. It was super eye-opening to go. And, my life here in Texas before I went, it was kind of stagnant, just getting up, going to work 8 to 5, everything like that. And it was just such a change in Japan. It was really just a once-in-a-lifetime trip, but I hope to go back soon. So thank you.
Right. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Olivo, and for my feature writing, I chose to do things to know before riding a train in Tokyo. And it's funny because coming into this trip, I didn't really do much research before even getting on the train. So definitely a big culture shock. And I just decided, well, for those who do want to ever plan on, riding a train in Tokyo, I mean, it's definitely like the biggest source of transportation there. So I just sort of like narrowed down, okay, what to kind of expect, and then like the proper etiquette, such as like waiting by the doors, being aware of the busy lifestyle because it is at every hour is rush hour, so be aware of that. And then carrying around your IC cards like everywhere, make sure you don't lose it because that was my most biggest anxiety, like scares was losing my ID card. And then also too, like while you're on the train, whether you're sitting down, standing up, being aware of other people's surroundings, and having respect towards their space. And then along with like, sitting down or like giving your seat up for like elders, women who are with children, or for women who are pregnant. Just shows it's like a common courtesy over there. And then also too, gathering up your items before you leave. I definitely feel like that's definitely a big thing. I'm not trying to name any people, but we're not gonna get there. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. But overall, the train ride was definitely a good experience, and compared to at least compared to New York subways I've been in, this one's definitely more organized and less dirty, and then everyone seems a little bit. They're not mean, but they're definitely more nicer. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, this was the feature writing, and then this one. I was so excited when I got this because I was like, this was like my favorite part of the trip in Tokyo was visiting Tower Records, which is just like basically a multiple story music store, and each floor kind of contains like different like sources of music genres such as like J-pop, J-rock, J-rap, K-pop. And in this case, K-pop was one of my main go-to genres, and I was super excited because I've always like going album shopping, but going album shopping in a different country, it felt so like surreal, like it didn't feel real to me. But it was definitely a good experience, and I got to buy like 2 albums, and my bank account didn't hurt too much because it was pretty good. It was pretty good price, and one of the albums that I bought. You can only get it in Japan, nowhere here in the US. So I thought that was really cool and really exciting for me. So, like the motto says up there, no music, no life. If music is your life and you strive around it, then Tower Records is definitely a go-to place for you to visit. And then this was my recap reel of our Japan adventures. Really emotional for me.
君とのラブストーリーはきっとこれから始めよう君こそがシンデレラ一緒に歌おうぜララ君がいればそう毎日スペシャルデイ初めてばかりで慣れない日々だって楽しんでいけるから You're my first love You're my first You're my first love Yeah かっこつけて先生から回っちゃうけどそうさ恋のせいさ君の前では I'm so cool 波の上で cruising 雪の中へダービッめくるめく see
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So like just keep it short and simple. Basically, this was kind of like a recap of our little adventures that we had with the group and also individually, or not individually, but like outside of, the itineraries during our trip to Kyoto and Tokyo, or Tokyo and Kyoto. And for me, I feel like one of my favorite parts from this video is definitely making new friendships within like the university students in Japan. I still actually have, I still keep in contact with her to this day. And her trying the Mexican candy was just like the highlight because I'm like, she loved it. So you know what? I'm like, I like you. And then going to the baseball games and definitely venturing out to the nightlife in Tokyo. Definitely experience. And I'm just like, nothing else compares to Shibuya. That's all I gotta say. Overall, my experience, I really find it memorable and I love it so much only because this is my first time ever going abroad. And the fact that I got to experience it with, CJMC Japan is just like, I am really grateful for that. And it's funny because coming into this program, my major is international studies with the international business concentration. So at the time, my first plan was already canceled due to lack of enrollment. And so when I found out about this program, and I was kind of hesitant at first because I didn't know nothing about journalism or mass communication. So part of me felt kind of scared, but I was like, you know what? I need to get my credit, but I also want to get out of my comfort zone and try something new. And I'm still grateful for that. And then I'm grateful that Professor Shields and then Dr. Martinez welcomed me with open arms. And not only that, but also making new friendships along the way within this program, within y'all, and then also the students from the universities in Japan. But overall, this is an experience in the books and as something that I would never stop yapping about. Like I loved this trip. I would never stop talking about it. I do want to go back one day, possibly live there now. So that's it for me, but thank you.
Hello, my name is Elion. So for my first featured story in Tokyo, I basically wrote about the hidden facets of language. And so basically, before this trip, I had taken 6 semesters in college of Japanese, so I was kind of familiar with the language. Uh, so I was really excited to be able to like test my language skills once I got into Japan. And what I noticed is immediately, whenever I would talk to locals, especially workers, I'd speak to them with Japanese, and at first they'd be like, "Oh, okay, he knows like some," and then I would notice when they would switch to their coworkers, they would be really polite when talking to customers, and then very casual, like their whole personality basically switched. They would go from really reserved, quiet to showing more of like what they actually are on a day-to-day basis. And I also noticed that whenever we went to Rikyo University, I had the opportunity of interviewing the Japanese students in Japanese, and I was gonna eventually use that for a reel, but it was way too long to cut all the Japanese into just one short video. And basically, what I noticed also during this trip was when I first spoke to the students, they were really quiet and reserved because they also knew English. So I was speaking to them all calm and collected, but when the conversation shifted in Japanese, the roles were reversed. Now I was a nervous Japanese speaker, and they were speaking to me all very casually. And basically, from what I learned in this experience, that a lot can change depending on a person's proficiency, how familiar they are with the language, and there are many sides to a person, especially if they know more than one language. And for my mobile storytelling, I had the opportunity of visiting Nijo Castle. And what I focused on was there were various gardens within the castle, and I decided to go through Ninomudu Garden. And in this garden, there's a variety of trees and ponds scattered with beautiful rocks. And it was just a really nice scenery being able to like although it was really hot that day, it was really nice just being able to casually stroll through the garden like at your own pace. And for my recap reel, I basically decided to put all the things that I enjoyed while we were in Japan. And beginning basically, it starts off with a casual conversation that I had on my phone with a few of the university students, and then it switches over to a variety of Japanese cars that I had the opportunity to record. Like there's so many just regular cars that you don't really see in the United States. So very like compact vans, trucks, and supercars as well. And I basically just included everything that caught my eye.
And now. We have a wonderful surprise for you. Make the mic fly. Resurrection. Make the mic fly. Resurrection. Funny how it makes you put time to perspective. Out of town, trapped in your life, perfected. Whenever you're up, feeling low, keep walking and we can't get far. Wherever you are.
And basically, from my experience, for me, I'm a international relations major and I'm a senior. So basically, all that I had left was to study abroad. So when I came to Dr. Martinez with asking if like I was able to be accepted into this program, I was like extremely relieved. So because ever since freshman year, I had planned to always go to Japan. But when my plans to go actually were about to start, COVID happened, and then the country was shut down for like another year. And then around my senior year, I was just like, this probably won't happen. But thankfully, I met Dr. Martinez. He accepted me into this program, and it was really nice to finally be able to enjoy Japan and experience everything that I always expected. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Rosie Mendoza. I am a digital media major, and for my first Tokyo reel, I got a tattoo in Tokyo, which was a very cool experience, especially since tattoos are kind of seen as kind of a taboo thing in Tokyo, especially because of the history behind it, which I go more kind of a little bit in depth with this video. And it's just following my experience at the day. I actually got lost while heading to my appointment. My phone was dead, and I just felt like a local because I just kind of got on each train and headed there, and then I ended up talking with different locals around just to see where I had to go, and someone eventually had to walk me to the shop because my phone was completely dead. I had no way of talking to anyone, but I was fine. I wasn't gonna die or anything. I did not tell my parents about this, by the way. So this is this reel.
Come get a tattoo with me today in Tokyo, Japan. At one point in time, tattoos were actually very looked down upon here. This is because they were once associated with the Yakuza, which is a gang here in Japan. This stigma has been slowly going away over time. Rather than viewing them as a dangerous marker, they are now slowly being viewed as a beautiful portrait of self-expression.
And that was a very cool experience to have, yeah. Also, my tattoo artist spoke zero English, so we were just kind of agreeing. She would show me the picture, I'd be like, just like that. So I let her have a lot of creative freedom with this, which I usually let a lot of my tattoo artists do that. And this one, my Kyoto reel was 3 tips I wish I knew before traveling with SJMC Japan. I'll let this one speak for itself because especially like, it was kind of a shock, just like the workload and the amount of time. I have done a summer course before, so I was kind of used to how like I would handle the workload, but especially when you're in another country, it's definitely different, and you're trying to experience the country, but also work comes first, so that's very important. 3 tips I wish I knew before traveling with SJMC Japan. Get all your work done as soon as you get your assignments. Doing this can allow you to alleviate stress and allow you to enjoy all the scenic views that are in Japan. Make sure to drink lots of water. You will be in the sun most of the day, so it's very important to stay hydrated.
make sure to take pictures of everything, and I mean everything. With this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it's important to capture every moment. This will also make creating content very easy. Would you come to Japan?
And for my feature story, I wrote it on the toilets in Japan. Japan's high-tech toilets, a modern necessity. And I know some of y'all have lactose intolerance out there. You already know, like, these toilets are gonna change your lives. The privacy in them is crazy. So the thing I kind of go in depth with is all the features they have to offer, especially like now that I'm back in the US, I can kind of see like we're kind of dirty. It's kind of weird. I think I think the kind of the biggest feature on the toilet is obviously the bidet. You just feel a lot cleaner. I know it's kind of weird to talk about, but I think definitely like from a hygiene standpoint, I think it's very important to have like different options, especially like to make yourself feel more comfortable. Like we do this every single day. It's a normal human thing. So there's like so many features. I go into depth into kind of all of them that I had to offer. My favorite one was probably the heated seat, but that was super cool. And kind of coming back was a huge shock because I recently went to my gym and the toilets are actually it's like the toilet and it's just like the open area like it's we're super close like there's huge gaps in the walls that we have and it's kind of normal for us here, but I was used to I mean being in Japan having this like whole private room to myself and coming back was like I just don't want to use the restrooms here now, but it was definitely different for me. And if y'all go abroad, I know even just like the bidet feature is really popular in a lot of other countries. Not really here in the U.S. as much, but I think you should definitely try it. Oh wait, sorry. Okay, and my overall experience with SJMC Japan, as a digital media major, I felt super in my element with the media and the outdoors class of storytelling and outdoors. That's something that, especially with the type of content I did, it gave me more confidence to produce content, especially on my own. I do have an Instagram account, Photos by Rose, shameless plug, but on that one, I just have more confidence in myself, especially to future employers. I can show them this account, and I am proud of the work I did, especially with the people I worked with throughout this program. With feature writing, I'm not the best writer at all, but I think with the help of the graduate students and the help with Professor Martinez, I really gained again confidence in my writing, and now I mean they were a huge help, and I really just could not have written the stories without them because they edited them so well, and we kind of had this like routine that they did like with every single student. I think by my time to edit, they kind of had it down. So like we edited my blog post really fast, my feature stories. It was just a really cool experience to have, especially with my classmates. Sorry, I'm not trying to make this too long, but especially with my classmates, there's just a lot of things to say, but I'm glad, especially with my roommate. We kind of bonded really fast. I think it's super cool because before this trip, I would have never have known her, talked to her. But we kind of met at the first meeting. We said, "Oh, you want to go to this concert?" And we showed up to Nagoya. That's where my trip started. I showed up 2 days earlier to Nagoya, and we kind of showed up, and we were like, "Oh my God, we're in Japan." Like that's all you could say when you arrive there. You're like, "Oh my God, like I'm in Japan." Like it's insane because you see videos, you see pictures, and it's just hard to believe you're actually there in real life. And it was just a huge positive experience for me. That's
Hello, everybody. I'm Colson Winters, and I'm a digital media major. And for my feature writing story, I talked about the vintage scene in Japan. and how it differs from America. And it's actually crazy because in Japan, I would say during this 70s to like the 90s, there was a big boom, and they were in love with American culture. So they wholesaled a bunch of American clothing, and it's now still selling there. So they probably have more American clothes than us, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, that's what I did for my feature writing. For my Tokyo reel, me and Elion, we did a little skit. It was pretty funny, but it's crazy because since this video was taken, the yen has dropped 20 cents. So instead of 1,000 yen being 640, it's only 620 now.
Hello everybody, we're in Tokyo today, and I'm with
Elion.
and I'm gonna be giving Elion 1,000 yen and see what he'll buy with it. So come on, let's see. What are you in the mood for today?
Well, it's a pretty hot day today, and I'm feeling kind of thirsty, so let's go check out the drinks.
Alright, let's go. Alright, what you gonna pick out of these?
Well, I'm low-key feeling something bubbly, so let's go with sparkling water.
That's a good pick, that's a good pick. I think you need a little snack along with that drink. What are you thinking right here?
Nah, I agree with you, definitely. Honestly, I'm feeling some lemon chips.
Good choice, good choice. It looks like you got some goodies today. How much did you end up spending?
Believe it or not, I only spent 300 yen, and I got 700 left over.
Only in Japan.
Alright, time for a taste test. Ready? Oishii da.
This is for my recap reel. I did Herb Albert because I really like Herb Albert, but basically just a recap over the whole trip. And finally, my SJMC Japan experience. I think we all kind of experienced different things and, experienced Japan in a different way. But I could say we all like became friends with everybody on the trip, and the friendship and the bonds are unforgettable. One thing that stands out to me that I met a guy named June there that actually is going to come to Texas August 12th. So he's going to come stay with me for 5 days with his friend. So if any of y'all would like to see him, you're more than welcome. We'll float the river, do anything like that. But to me, this experience was amazing. I grew as a scholar as well as a person. I think like a famous quote by Anthony Bourdain is be a traveler instead of a tourist, and I took that to heart. Being around the local aspects of Japan really got to emerge in the culture. But yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, so this was my favorite feature story to work on because I got to taste test and review things. Now, I love melons, and I love trying different melons, and especially here in the United States where they have so many different varieties. And then I go to Japan, and there's flavors of it everywhere. You can't walk into a convenience store without seeing something melon flavored, and that just doesn't exist outside of Japan. And I, of course, went a little crazy with buying a lot of it. And I thought to myself, what if I turn this into one of my feature stories? And I brought some back home, tried some with my family. There were some that didn't quite taste the best. They looked beautiful. All of them looked beautiful. But I would say for the majority, though, they tasted fantastic. And I wasn't expecting all of the different, like, melon and chocolate together.
it was just really good, and especially the sodas too. It was just yeah, it's definitely my favorite one to write about because I got an excuse to try like every single flavor of the different melon products that I could find and make it something academic. Here is my recap reel of Hastere Temple. One of the most delightful things about that I didn't expect, I probably should have looked more into this beforehand, but I didn't realize that we were going to be getting to see all the hydrangeas up close. Um, Getting to walk through the hydrangea path and see just the sheer amount of flood. You don't see them very much in Texas because they're such water, they need a lot of water to grow to flower. And with all of the droughts and stuff in Texas, you really don't have that many hydrangeas. And just seeing them full bloom, beautifully arranged, just out there that you can see, that you can walk among, it was just gorgeous. And that was one of my I just filming it and seeing the beauty still, it's just gorgeous. Just remembering that is one of my favorite memories. Here is my recap reel. As covered in that was a mix of, well, I say a mix, but it was mostly the professional outings, the program outings. One of the things that I want to say, shout out to Elise for us going to that pancake place. The cheers, uh, that was just one of my favorite things to do during this. And I feel like I should have featured it more in there, but I just shout out to getting me to go there because I don't know if I would have gone otherwise. So, my SJMC Japan experience. For as long as I can remember, I have wanted to go to Japan. I think it was probably a mix of my first exposure to anime, which Naruto, probably most people know. That was the first thing that got me into anime and manga as a whole. And from there, I was just, looking for more that I was interested in. And then I started looking into the country it came from. And then I was fascinated with all of the theme parks, which I need to go again. There was stuff that I need to experience again, and I'm sure like all of y'all here think the same. One of my favorites was going to Tokyo Disney, which also shout out to Talia for us going together. I would not have gone otherwise. I got to see all the great rides, the animatronics. And then besides all the fun stuff that I didn't entirely expect was the academic side. The way that I grew, like learning how to create reels, I'd never done that before. I foolishly thought that it would be easy. It wasn't. There was a sharp learning curve. I feel like most people would think that it would be difficult. I did not think that, and I was proven very wrong, like immediately from the start. In feature writing, I'd never done that before, and from this class, it taught me so much, and I am so grateful for the addition that it has given to my portfolio.
Hey everyone, I'm Jose Calderon. I'm a graduate student. I'm majoring in mass comm.
The two stories that I covered were Unseen Japan and Rikyo University. Unseen Japan is unlike any of the locations we went to in that it was established in 2018, whereas like the Wall Street Journal or the Kyoto Shimbun was established like a century before. So it was really interesting to have a conversation with Jay Allen about his like candid experience. Rikyo University was probably one of the best highlights. We were able to immerse ourselves with the students. We played a game of two truths, one lie, so it kind of broke the ice. The campus was beautiful. Despite the heat, I mean, you could even see it in that picture. There was greenery everywhere. It was luscious, it was beautiful. And it was really nice to cover these two topics because they were very interesting. My reel was on the grad assistant experience in Tokyo. I kind of wanted to do this so that future students knew what to expect, or at least grad students knew what to expect. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. I made a lot of connections. Dr. Martinez and Sarah helped us a ton when it came to the editing process. All of y'all know how much it took to get through those blog posts. I think one night we stayed up till like 2:30. But yeah, here is my video. And so for my Kyoto reel, I actually did matcha. Kyoto is kind of unofficially known as like the matcha capital just because its proximity to Uji. Uji has some of the best matcha and green tea leaves available just because of its like climate, the soil, and the elevation. So I figured if I'm a matcha girly, I might as well have all the matcha that I possibly can in Kyoto. And so this is my video documenting that.
Do you want to go grab matcha?
You're wondering if I've had my fill of matcha, I have not. This is a lifelong journey. So my SJMC Japan experience, I just want to really thank Dr. Martinez and Sarah. There was a huge learning curve when it came to editing blog posts. We've written for blogs and feature writing, but never editing other people's work. So that was a bit of a challenge. But I think by the end of it, we got through it. We all got through it together. Where I could have gotten lost in like stress, I had my twin sister and my best friend with me, and we got lost in laughter instead. So I really appreciate her having her there. I also appreciate the support of my husband and my children, who I was away for 2 weeks. My oldest and my husband are here to support, so thanks, guys. But this marks the end of my academic journey, actually, these last two classes. And I think it was the perfect send-off as I'm set to graduate in December. Yeah. Hi guys, so I'm going to keep this super brief. My name is Valley. I'm Lisette's twin sister and I'm also a grad student. For my feature stories, I wrote on the Wall Street Journal experience and the Kyoto Shimbun. I'm actually between kind of a career shift. I was in social media for 4 years and I kind of wanted to go back to my journalistic roots, and writing about these two really amazing places really solidified what I want to do. And I know that I want to kind of integrate my social media background with my journalist background. So actually, funny story, I told Dr. Martinez, when I was a little girl, I used to lay under my mom's bed and like write everything that they said. I don't know why I did this, but I had like notebooks filled with just things they were talking about. So I know that that little girl would be so proud to know that I'd be with visiting and writing about these places. So that was awesome. And then, so for my Tokyo reel, we've talked a little bit about some of the things that stood out in Tokyo. So I kind of wanted to combine all of those things and make a reel with it. So we can watch that real quick. Okay. Thank you. So I'm actually very comfortable making reels and TikToks because I did it for my job and I actually do it personally. But being a lot more intentional about the things that I shot and kind of telling a story was really fun and really exciting, and only just it really elevated my content creation skills. And I had a lot of fun making it. I love social media, so it works out. And then the next one is my recap reel. And these were just moments in Japan that altered my brain chemistry. Thank you. So this was also a really fun reel to make. I'm kind of playing off a trend that I saw on social media. And when I make reels or any of my content, I just think about what I like to see and what I find relatable. So that's sort of what I was going with here. Team Planets Lab was so awesome. I would really recommend checking that out if you ever go to Japan. It was a really immersive art experience and you become one with the art, and it's just something I've never experienced. I love art. So I definitely recommend that. So my SJMC Japan experience, it's really hard to put into words everything that we experienced, the work, bonding with people, having my twin sister, which thank God, because it was like I had a little piece of home with me when I did miss home. Working with the undergrad students, it's been a while since I graduated, so I understand how much pressure it was, all of us working together late into the night. But you know, we've never done that either, so it was something new to us. And then I also had an Anthony Bourdain quote, but I left my phone. But it's just something that along the lines of traveling changes you, and it does, and it's an abstract concept until you actually experience it. So yeah, thank you.
All right, so that concludes all the student work. As you can see, like that's just a short amount of what they did. They were doing stuff every single day, like every single day from morning to at the end of the day, they were creating content. They were writing their stories, writing their captions, editing their reels. So I'm really proud of them. I know Gilbert's really proud as well. And we kind of have a couple more words to say. And so I wanted to just really briefly kind of talk about how this is a lot of firsts for me. This was my first time to be part of a faculty-led education abroad trip. I went to a Study in America trip last year as a program assistant. We went to Oregon. So kind of got a little taste of it, except like not the abroad part, right? And this is also my first time to a whole different continent. Like I'd never been to Asia, never been to Japan. And this was really special to me because my mom, whenever she was in her 30s, she went to Japan. And so I like kind of felt like I was following in her footsteps a little bit. I was like, I'm in my early 30s, like I'm doing what my mom did, like obviously not by myself. I'm with a bunch of students in Gilbert. But it was a really fun experience. I'm really grateful for it. And this last one, this is my first time to walk into a poll while reviewing student assignments. So like y'all saw me throughout the day. I'd be like on my phone constantly, but it's because I was reviewing stuff on the fly so we could get them up on social media ASAP. And sometimes I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings, which meant I ended up walking into a poll. So that was really embarrassing, but it is what it is. Um, I'm really grateful coming into this journey and this experience because, like I said, this is my first time to be part of a faculty-led education abroad experience. And I came in like never teaching this class before. I taught similar classes, but not this specific class. And so I had a lot of questions for Gilbert early on, and I had a vision, like my vision had a lot of things. And I feel like pretty much every week I was like, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do this? Because I was kind of coming in as an outsider and I didn't want to like change up the whole trip that he created in 2019. But I came in pretty strong with like, this is what I want to do. This is my goal. This is my vision for the trip and for the students' experience. I really wanted y'all to get the most out of it as well, obviously. I think what's really special about our program is that we're not just going abroad and like going and seeing cool things. Like, yeah, we're doing that, but y'all are also creating work that you're going to be able to put into a portfolio, show potential employers and be like, look at these photos I took, look at the videos I made. I have editing skills. I have writing skills. Like that's really powerful. And having all those like in your toolkit is going to be really, really special. And especially to be able to show these people like this is literally my work. Like here's the link to it. You can go see the video. Here's the link to my story. You can go see it on the website. So I think that really makes our program stand out a lot more. So I'm really proud about that and what Gilbert has built. And when I reflect back on this trip, I think of this one word that comes to mind, and it's just grateful, like being so grateful for the opportunity, for my students, for Valley and Lizette, for Gilbert, Rayanne, like everybody that was a part of the trip, everybody who helped us on the trip. I just have so much to be grateful for. And that's kind of all I've been thinking of as I reflect. And I know y'all probably been looking back and thinking of, you know, the trip as well and having your own themes that come to mind. But mine was just being grateful for this opportunity. So first off, thank you, Gilbert, for letting me join and be a part of this. And also, John, I know you weren't there, and thank you for that, because that's why I got to go. So I'm really glad that you weren't able to make it this year, because that meant that I was able to go. So again, I'm just like really grateful for all these opportunities. Valley and Lisette, y'all played such a crucial part in like everything, helping me review stuff. We had late nights, stressful days, but it was all worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. So I'm just grateful for everything. And I thought it was only fitting that like, if I'm gonna make my students create all these different reels and photos and stuff, I feel like I need to make my own as well. So I have a 1-minute reel here, just kind of showing Japan through my eyes and kind of some of my experiences and my favorite takeaways.
Locked in a stalemate, there was no hope. Rock in a hard place, it's battery control. What am I waiting for? See planes beneath my compass, my transport.
So again, thank you everybody for being a part of this journey with me. It's one that I will always look back on and cherish and remember forever. And I have some of y'all in classes in the future, so I'm excited to see y'all again, even though it's not gonna be in Japan. It's not gonna be as cool since we're gonna be like in Old Main. But it'll still be really nice to be able to continue on y'all's journey as well. And then Gilbert has a couple more words as well.
All right, thanks for everybody hanging in. There's a lot to say, there's a lot to share. And before I get to my words, I had a top secret assignment, top secret assignment for my grad students. And I wanted them to capture just a little bit to express my deep appreciation for Sarah. And I learned very quickly that the way to make this work was to stay out of her way. So when she said she had ideas, I was all ears and let's do it. I mean, why not? And I just knew that I didn't want to say no to her. And so I asked my grad students to put together a quick video that we're going to share here now.
No, oh my god. It cuts my tongue and it burns.
Sarah, I was really touched by your story about your mother going in her 30s and how you went, you know, it just made me think about watching you walk in Japan and maybe think about your mom. So just thanks. Okay, so I just have a few things to say. You know, this trip is so special. This program is so special, you know, for me, because it is life-changing. It is extraordinary. It's once in a lifetime. It's unforgettable. And I usually have it together more than this. I'm so sorry I'm breaking down. I don't know what's wrong with me. But you know, I've done this program 3 times and every time it's different. Every time it's special. But I only got to do this trip once with this group of students. And it's so special for me because it helps me experience Japan through your eyes, through your experiences, to everything that you bring to it. And I do sometimes feel guilty about all the work we make you do, but only a little bit, you know, because I realize, you know, that this is going to help you in so many different ways. And instead of just looking back and saying, yeah, I went to Japan, and that's all you have to say, you've got things to show, you've got skills to demonstrate, you've got these great experiences, the great stories, these bonding experiences. And as Sarah said earlier, this was just the tip of the iceberg. You know, there's so much stuff on the website. I encourage everybody to take a look at what students have written, what they've created. It's really mind-boggling in lots of different ways. So for my students, you know, you have my heartfelt thanks, your hard work, your enthusiasm, and for trusting us to take you on this journey. You know, I would not have blamed you if you thought, what are you making us do? Like, we just want to enjoy Japan. Why are you doing this to us? You know, but again, I hope that when you look back, you will have documented what this experience has been. And I hope that's something that you carry with you for many years to come. For my graduate students, oh my gosh, what would I have done without Valley and Lizette? They were with me early mornings, late nights, and everything in between. They are also great role models for our students and for believing in the work and the program. You know, we worked very hard, Sarah and I, and then John in past programs, to create a program that we would want to do if we were undergraduate students. And I've had students in mind at the center of everything. And that's what Sarah and I have done in creating this, that you've put your effort into this to make this a worthwhile experience. So for Sarah, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for elevating and evolving the program. You know, this isn't about this year was better than last year or better than 2019. It's about the evolution of the program. And that's what she did. She's turned us into an Instagram beast. I mean, this is just incredible what we've done. And guess what? We did it together. We did it with your hard work. We did it with your vision. We did it with your creativity. And I'm so proud of that. And I'll always be proud of the work that you did. You know, I'll fight anybody, and I mean that with a capital F. I'll fight anybody that says we just went to Japan because, you know, we just wanted to go on vacation. No, no, no. We worked hard, and we can show and demonstrate the work that we did. And I'm so proud of it. Just like I'm proud of 2019, I'm proud of 2023. Some of the alumni are here, so happy to see them. And I'm so proud of all of you in the current program for what we've done together. It really has been something very, very special. And so I can't resist. Some of you may know that the main class I teach at Texas State is media law class, media law and ethics. And I've been known to put my students to sleep in my media law class. I've seen it. But this is how hard they worked. When we rode on the Shinkansen, they were exhausted, and I hope they don't mind. I hope they don't mind that I'm sharing these photos, but these are some of my fond memories. Some of the things that I remember, you know, about the hard work that my students have done and the well-earned opportunity to get some as well. So I hope they don't mind I share this. And there are other things, right? I do it because I love you guys. I hope you know. I love you guys so much. I love all my students. But we had fun, you know, and that's what this is. It was work, it was academics, it was professional life, but it was also embracing Japan and enjoying the moment, and experiencing this together. We'll always have this. And so with that, I just want to again emphasize, you know, what did we do? You know, we grew personally, we grew academically, we grew professionally. I hope you keep in touch. I have alumni here from last year, which means so much to me. And I hope that the 16 undergraduate students and the 2 graduate students know that I've got your back. You know, you need letters of recommendation. Sarah and I will help you. We'll support you. We want to know all the great things you're going to do. We hope you keep in touch. We hope you let us know the next time you're in Japan. We hope you let us know where life takes you. And I hope that this has been a special experience. Certainly has been very special for us. I can't imagine life without having a program like this. And you all have made this possible for me. And I'm so very, very grateful. And so we end with just a simple thank you. Domo arigato. We're going to do one last thing and take a group photo. And we figured the best time to do it was right at the very end. But if those that have joined us, family and friends, classmates, thank you so much for joining us today on this very, very special day. This has been a great program, and I'm so grateful for everybody. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Okay, pardon me as I do what I need to do here. I need a... And thanks for those online. We're going to end our program now. Thank you, everybody.